How's it going, everyone? I'm here to give my review of the brand new Batista The Animal Unleashed documentary. First and foremost, no, I did not have the DVD itself. I opted not to buy it because, to be perfectly honest, whenever this DVD was being made, I did not have any interest in it. The documentary did interest me, but just the DVD itself I didn't really care for. So I didn't want to go out and spend 20 bucks on a DVD I honestly didn't really care about. But instead I did buy the documentary off Amazon. I actually rented it for $5. That way, I felt like I wasn't cheating, wasn't, downloading it. I still contributed a little bit, so I still did give some money to WWE for this DVD. So I mean, I'd rather spend $5 for this documentary than $20 for the documentary because the matches honestly don't really care about. I highly doubt I even watch them anytime soon. But yeah, for 40 minutes, I'm not gonna pay 20 bucks for it, so I just paid $5 for it off Amazon. But for a 40-minute documentary, it was good. It was pretty much what you'd expect for 40 minutes. Didn't really go too in depth with anything. I thought this documentary was pointless though after watching it because it only covered from his return to the Rumble. It covered 1 week, and it wasn't even 1 week. It just covered the days he was there, the day he returned to Raw and at the Rumble. So to me, this whole documentary is pointless to begin with. It did cover what he did in the 4 years and a span of it. Like they'd show a clip from him at the Rumble, then like a clip of what he did. So they did cover what he did in the 4 years, but it just this documentary isn't anything really to see. If anything, like I said, just rent it off Amazon or iTunes or something because buying the DVD isn't worth it. Wait till the $5 bin because honestly, I think I will buy this DVD when it's in the $5 bin because the artwork on this DVD is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. Besides that, this documentary you can easily pass on. It's not really a must-see by any means. You can easily tell WWE just threw this together. I guess as part of Batista's contract when he came back. I don't know what the deal was, why they even made this. But the documentary, like I said, is short and sweet. And yeah, in the documentary, he started off with a nice video package, pretty much highlighting a little bit of his WWE run, highlighted a little bit of him as a kid, and pretty much him narrating a little bit about like a 2-minute video package. I think the video package is actually on YouTube, the intro to the DVD. So it was a nice little intro. Kicked off the DVD with him at the hotel where he's at in Pittsburgh for the Rumble. Showed him getting in the car and showed him driving to the arena. Him talking about how he was nervous. This was his first match in 4 years. And that he wasn't really sure how he was going to perform because he hasn't had a match in 4 years, so he didn't know exactly how it was going to pan out when he was in the ring, and that he was just he's real critical of himself, so that's another thing that really pressured and weighed on him. But yeah, just showed him right in the car on the way there. He goes there, he talks about how pretty much the whole backstage changed. They have new writers. They have the whole social media thing. A lot of new people are there that he doesn't know, so he had to pretty much introduce himself and pretty much greet all these new people. And he talked about how he actually came back with an injury. He actually came back with an Achilles heel injury. That's that's one thing that really worried him as well, was that he would make the injury even worse, and it would pretty much ruin it. Not ruin him, but like coming back and injuring yourself right away, it's a bad thing. So it showed him running around at Raw, run around in the ring, making sure his ankles all good. Actually showed him practicing his entrance. Like he even said, like they had to do a few takes of the entrance because he kept, the pyro wasn't on cue, so they had to do it a few times. Showed that the Raw portion. Then they go to a clip of him arriving at the Royal Rumble. Like I said, it's documentary. It's just like the clips are like out of sequence. You'll have a clip from Rumble, then Raw, then a random clip from something he did 2 years ago, then the Rumble, then Raw. Like it's an out of sequence documentary with the clips. But it shows him right at the Royal Rumble. Pretty much greeting everyone, saying hi to all the guys, and like just pretty much just soaking it all in. Like Royal Rumble was in 2005, so kickstarted his career, and it's pretty fitting that he comes back at the Royal Rumble. So that was pretty fitting for him. And he went to shows a clip of him talking about why he left WWE. He wasn't in favor of the direction of the PG direction. Because he said his character wasn't a PG character, so that's one huge reason why he left. Another reason was because he wanted to fulfill other things outside of wrestling, and he didn't want to be too old not to do it. He didn't want to be like, oh, it's too late to do it. So that played another factor for him leaving WWE, so he can pursue other things that he wanted to do as well. And he talked about how he broke his back in his last match with John Cena. He broke his back when he took the attitude adjustment through the stage, and he actually that really messed his back up. And he didn't get surgery on it until a year later after it happened. He got to the point it was so bad he could barely walk, so he went got surgery, and he's perfectly fine after that. And he's been great. His back's been great ever since then. And talked about how he broke into MMA with the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy, working with them, and how fighting was a thing that he really wanted to do. That was his number 1 goal after wrestling, was to get into fighting. But because of his age, he couldn't pursue a career in it, so he did it more of like a satisfaction thing to do, just to satisfy himself. That's why he did it. He talked about how he wasted a lot of time training for a fight that was just complete garbage. He pretty much regrets doing that one fight he did, even though he did win. He just felt like he wasted a lot of time training for it, and just wasted, pretty much that was what he was mad about. He wasted a lot of time for that fight that really didn't mean anything, and he didn't even like the fight, so he felt like he just wasted a lot of his time. They showed his purple belt ceremony from the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy when he got his purple belt. They showed him, putting the belt on him, and he had to do a thing where he walks through, and all the classmates are whipping him with their purple belts. So I was like, damn, and he walked through it like it was nothing too. Like, he had welts and he had marks all over him. He just walked through it and he had to walk back through it. So, that looked pretty painful. And he didn't even face him. That was pretty amazing. But then we go back into the Rumble, talk about how he was seeing familiar superstars that he used to work with, like Rey Mysterio, R-Truth, like all the old guys like he used to work at before he left. He shows a clip of him hanging out with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, which is pretty cool. So it was just him interacting with a bunch of guys. Him and Khali, he was talking to Khali like, hey, we're filming a DVD. The Punjabi prison match is going to be on the DVD, and then just him and Khali talking about it. You can't really understand what Khali's saying. But it was a pretty funny thing right there with him and Khali. And then it shows him, the Imperials lowrider club that he's a part of. He talks about that for a few minutes. Talked about his Eddie Guerrero lowrider and how he's a huge fan of lowriders. And when he got there, he was kind of ashamed because he was really proud of the one car, and they pretty much just trashed it because it wasn't up to their standards, and he thought it was a perfect car. So he was kind of hurt by that, but it was just whatever. So it was a whatever clip there. And he talked about how he got into acting. How guys like Vin Diesel, helped him when he did Riddick with him. And he talked about the films he's done, like Man with the Iron Fist. He stars in a lot of movies, so they really didn't talk about that too much. They really talked about the Rise of the Guardians. When he got the call that he got the part for Drax the Destroyer. He talked about how he did months and months and months of auditions and callbacks because of it. And when he got that call that he got it, he was just crying. He couldn't be more happy about what happened, the fact he got the part. And he even said after the Guardians he wanted to go to WWE. And once he went back to WWE, he was WWE. That was all that mattered to him, was WWE. He was dedicated to WWE, and that's all that mattered. So he even said it. Like I said, the plans after Rise of the Guardians was just WWE right after. He talked about how he tried to fit in a side project between Guardians and WWE, but nothing worked out, so he just went straight to WWE. And they showed a clip of him with his attire issues. By the way, they showed a clip of the person making his trunks, and it was actually pretty interesting to see how they make the trunks. But yeah, he was having attire issues. The zipper in his boots broke. Just his shorts, he wore those shorts because he was self-conscious about his old trunks, and everything was going wrong. He couldn't warm up backstage because at the time he got all his attire on him and ready. He was pretty much ready to go out and into the Rumble match. And he talked about the Rumble match, how he said he even admits he could have done better, or he wishes he would have done better, but it is what it is. He thought he did okay. And he ended up winning the Rumble match, and he talked about how after the match, when the pay-per-view went off the air, some fan was getting in his face, just flipping him off, and Batista's just like, come on, man, really? You really got to do that? And his fans just letting him have it. And he's talking about how it was a tough crowd, it was funny because at the beginning of it, when he rides at the Rumble, he praises Pittsburgh, and he's saying, man, that was just such a tough crowd, and he didn't understand, he was saying, oh, people are telling me I don't deserve it. I guess they forgot about the 12 years I dedicated to WWE, just because, Daniel Bryan, he deserves it too, but he's just saying that, he didn't, it hurt his feelings that people didn't think he deserved it after all the things he's done for them in the past. And, he's just not coming back to give back to us again. And people are just basically telling him, we don't want to see you, you don't deserve it. And it hurt his feelings, and he talked about the main reason why he wanted to come back was to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He wants, that was a big goal of his life, was to become the undisputed champion. They always had 2 titles when he was around, and now that there's only 1 title, that's what he wants. He wants to be the champion. He wants to be the guy in WWE. So that was the pretty much the main focus of coming back and returning to WWE. And yeah, just pretty much the ending was him basically saying he's dedicated to WWE. Once he's in WWE, he's WWE. He's on the road, not just for TV, for house shows and everything. And yeah, it's pretty much it for the documentary. Like I said, it's only 40 minutes, so it's not very long. But the information you get, the backstage stuff is cool. Like I said, you see him interacting with guys like Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, The Shield, Ryback, Rey Mysterio, just JBL. Just you just see him interacting with guys backstage. The backstage stuff was good, but this documentary, like I said, you can easily pass up on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Would I buy the DVD? Like I said, I'd buy it when it's like $5. But there's a lot of matches on the DVD too. So if you buy the DVD, it's pretty much for the matches. I would think. There's a lot of TV matches, and it's always great to have TV matches in your collection. But overall, the set, I don't have the set itself, but the documentary was, for 40 minutes, it was good. But not worth $20 in my opinion. So yeah, either wait for it when it's on sale, buy the DVD, or just rent it or download it, either way. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.